factor offensively. Danny Ainge and Dennis Johnson, no field goals.
And no points and 3 personal fouls. By the way, McHale had his career high 3 years ago against these Pistons, 56 points. Mahorn, Laimbeer, Dantley start the second half with Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, who has taken only 2 shots so far in the game. Thomas misses the first shot. McHale gets the rebound, and here the Celtics moving it up. Mahorn picking up Ainge, so there's a mismatch somewhere. It's Isaiah Thomas. Ainge misses, and Thomas gets the rebound. 58-53. Boston. Dantley inside where he does his work and gets 2. Adrian has 12 points coming off the bench.
And he's limping up and down the court. That ankle is giving him some problems.
Dumars on Dennis Johnson. McHale trying to find a way clear. Mahorn got a hand on it, caused the turnover, and here come the Pistons with Dantley. 2 straight baskets, cuts the Celtic lead to 1.
Somehow he's dragging that leg up and down the court when he knows he can get 2 points. But that last time it was the pressure defensively by Dumars on Dennis Johnson that made that bad pass.
Semi-pick and roll and a foul called against Detroit. It's against Dantley. Next Sunday, the best 2 teams in the Western Conference, the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks battle. Dallas has won 8 in a row. Will be at Reunion Arena in Dallas on Sunday, 2:30 Eastern. McHale pick and roll and is fouled. 2-point lead, Boston. But this has not been an even game in reality. The Celtics have controlled the tempo.
And that's what you have to do when you play on the road.
Parrish, who only played 10 minutes in the first half, if he's okay, he'll be awfully fresh. Bird with a left-handed runner, but there's Parrish with the rebound. Spent a year and a half in the lane, it seems. Celtics retain possession. Parrish over Mahorn. Laimbeer the rebound. Here come the Pistons looking to push it up. Dumars. And he's fouled. Of Ainge and Dennis Johnson to score a field goal today.
Well, you know how those plans are. You set out to do one thing and something else happens.
May come down to that, though, before we're through. Dumars in the lane. Ties it up. Pistons have not had the lead in the game. They've had many chances to take it, but they've gone by the board.
Well, Joe Dumars, we know, is a big game player. Last year in that 7th game against the Celtics in Boston, he scored 35 in that ball game.
Ainge looking for Parrish, too far away from the hoop. Goes baseline, and a beautiful move inside, little finger roll to top it off.
Well, I guess Pat was right. That back is all right.
Parrish with 11 points in the game. 9 of them came in the first period. 63-61 in favor of the Celtics. Dumars again given the shot. Misses from the outside. Laimbeer's second effort is good, or his first effort, really.
Well, Laimbeer on that shot, when he got the rebound, he had both feet on the floor when he went up to shoot it. Most players will jump and then shoot it.
High score at 63. Pass out again to Dennis Johnson. And that's what the Pistons will try to do. Hope that Dennis Johnson misses. Here comes a 5-on-3, and Dennis Rodman scores to give the Pistons their first lead. And a turnover.
And this is the first time we've seen this crowd get in the ball game.
It's like somebody pressed a button, Billy.
And it was Isaiah Thomas that pressed the button.
65-63 Detroit. It's like they all just came into the building for the first time today. Laimbeer, quick pop. Celtics, they're looking to tie the game with 7:20 remaining in the third. Ainge sees an opening. Danny Ainge has yet to score, averaging nearly 16 a game, and the Pistons 3-on-3. Thomas. Timeout, Boston.
of the Detroit Pistons, number one, must start with good defensive rebounding. We see 3 Pistons in good defensive position. The next step is to take it and get it to Isaiah Thomas. But the Celtics' game plan right here was for their guards to pick up as quickly as possible the guards of the Piston, but Isaiah Thomas has other thoughts. And now it becomes the Isaiah Thomas show, penetrating, finding Rodman for the layup.
So the Pistons have gotten their running game going. Isaiah has been the spark, and Rodman hasn't hurt, coming off the bench, replacing Dantley, who looks to be hobbled a bit with that sprained ankle. And in the process, the Pistons have run off 8 straight points this period to take their first lead of the ball game. So now the burden on the Celtics to stop this Detroit run. Tight defense by Detroit, double teaming on Parrish. Dennis Johnson, foul going inside. So now the game plan at the start is now bearing fruit here in the third period.
Now we're seeing it because you'll notice the Pistons will not help defensively off Danny Ainge. They're too concerned with his jump shot. The next thing is they'll help off Dennis Johnson. But when you see Dennis take the ball like that and go to the basket, he doesn't have the confidence in his jump shot. He's fortunate to get fouled.
Lane Beer picked up his 3rd personal foul, and John Sally will replace him right now in the lineup. So Sally and Rodman in the lineup, and a good running group for Detroit.
This is their best running team.
McHale with 27 is the game's high scorer. Dantley on the bench with 14 leads Detroit. 2 free throws by Dennis Johnson, and the lead is 2. Coming off a screen by Sally is Thomas. Sally on the return pass inside. Acrobatic shot by John Sally.
Acrobatic, but Isaiah Thomas created it by that penetration and found John Sally. That's when Isaiah is at his best, because he's such a fine player. He can make his teammates even better.
Rodman is right on Bird, switches Mahorn. Rodman now guarding Parrish, double team. Great defense by the Pistons. And they're going to call the foul against Detroit. Loose ball foul. Bird was hit in the forehead.
Here's Mahorn going after that loose ball and hitting Bird right in the smack in the face. You know, he broke his nose not too long ago.
Against Denver.
Yeah, and that could really hurt. Now, it will be interesting to see if Larry Bird's able to come back and play.
He was hit and broke a nose in a collision with Blair Rasmussen against Denver and didn't miss a beat.
Now watch Isaiah penetrating, forcing the Celtics to come over and help. And there's Sally just sliding in. Just a normal shot for John Sally.
Third period. Thanks for the visit, Pat. 4-point lead for the Pistons. Danny Ainge, who has yet to score today. It's a story in its own right. 8 on the shot clock. Boy, Detroit playing fierce defense, and Dennis Johnson hits from inside the 3-point line, but they're making the Celtics work to get those back.
And the Celtic guards are going to have to pick up the scoring now, because the defensive intensity down low by the Pistons is just night and day from the first half to now.
Dumars open right of the key, hits. You're right about what the defense is doing, because Kevin McHale in more than 6 minutes has only 1 point so far in this third period.
And their defense has ignited their offense. They're just in a better flow, nice rhythm out here, not forcing anything.
Parrish and Mahorn tangling up inside, and Joe Crawford called 68 Detroit. Rodman, and it was a penetration by Thomas that made it happen.
Again, and they're really looking to run now. Whatever Chuck Daly said at halftime has worked, because they're looking to run after missed foul shots.
Larry Bird pulls up, and they'll let it go out of bounds. Pistons ball. So Bird has 12 points, none here in the third period. McHale, as you see, has 27, 1 in the third. So that front court scoring has disappeared for the Celtics. Thomas penetrating. Races with Ainge for the loose ball. And they're going to call Thomas with the foul. Earl Strom right in front of us and in front of Isaiah Thomas. Hits him with a foul, and that'll be number 4 on Isaiah Thomas.
Number 11, Isaiah Thomas. I thought Danny Ainge might have gotten a little bit of Isaiah before that contest. That's such a tough call. You know, two guys, you'd almost just wish there would be no call there when you see two players hustling the way they did.
The Pistons are in the penalty. 5. Sally setting a screen. McHale stays with Dumars. Lane Beer. This is the time that the Pistons may be calling on Lane Beer. With Thomas out of there and Dantley also on the sidelines. McHale trying to get position, and they call the offensive foul.
Now watch John Sally just set that screen and get a piece of Danny Ainge, knocking him to the floor.
2 fouls on McHale. Detroit with the ball and a 5-point lead. Nearly 4 minutes remaining in the third period. Dick Stockton and Billy Cunningham at the Silverdome. 10 on the clock. Double on Rodman. Forces the shot. Rebound by Akers. Celtics only 1 team foul. Pistons already in the penalty. Sally is with Ainge. Mismatch somewhere else. Maybe inside. And it knocked away. Rodman. This is a 4-on-2 Detroit run. And Rodman is fouled. The Celtics very nearly short-circuited that fast break.
Detroit was very fortunate. Joe Dumars had left his feet, committed himself, and the ball just bounced into the hands of Dennis Rodman.
So Rodman will go to the line. Ainge his 4th, 7 inches after high school, and then decided to go to college.
Well, you know things are good for the Detroit Pistons right now. Dennis Rodman hit 2 free throws. Again, the double team down low, trying to force the Celtics to shoot from the perimeter.
Akers blocked inside, and now the foul. Mark Akers moving inside. Not normally an offensive threat. His performance has been aggressive defensive play.
And get to the defensive boards. Maybe the offensive boards pick up a little garbage. When he's playing alongside of McHale and Bird, there's not going to be many shots anyway available for him. So he just has to do that hard work and complement those two players.
Rodman goes out with his 4th foul. And looks like he may be shaken up. Adrian Dantley, who kind of limped off the last time, returns.
What I think is Rodman went up to try and block that shot, might have hit his hand on the backboard, possibly dislocating a finger.
6-point Detroit lead. Akers misses 1. 3:20 to go in the third period. Last 14 games between these teams have been won by the home team. The Celtics led by 5 at the half, trailed by 6 now. Big turnaround in this third period by Detroit. 5 on the shot clock. They get it inside to Adrian Dantley, and Dantley gets the basket. 16 for AD to lead Detroit.
The guy is some offensive player down low. It's 6'4", 6'5", who knows? And he had 3 7-footers surrounding him in that play, and still able to score.
Minifield was open. Ainge. And McHale. Rebound Lane Beer. Outlet stolen by Danny Ainge. 4-on-1 now, and Ainge hits the shot. We have not had a 3-point basket in the ball game, and that's Ainge's first basket in 5 tries.
Danny Ainge has to be saying, thank goodness, I'm glad I made 1.
You saw Rodman with the ice around his hand. Vinnie Johnson off the screen. Ice cold, speaking of ice. And the Celtics trying to cut the Piston lead to 4. Akers missed the hook shot, nearly ran Vinnie Johnson into the photographer. And a timeout called by the Pistons.
Detroit calls timeout.
Casey Jones is showing a lot of confidence in his bench, you know, being down 6 points and putting Lowhouse and everyone else in.
Bird with a turnaround, and Larry Bird with his 14th point of the ball game. First basket here in this third period. 4-point game. Bird, Akers, and Lowhouse up front, and a foul away from the ball against the Celtics. We're going to be followed by an exciting college basketball matchup as we get closer to the NCAA tournament. Jim Paxson comes into the ball game, replacing Danny Ainge. It'll be Syracuse against Kentucky in Lexington coming up next on CBS Sports.
That'll be the inside game of Syracuse against the perimeter game of Kentucky.
Dantley draws the foul as he does so well. Akers the guilty party. Chapman is not going to play in the game. Rex Chapman injured for Kentucky, but they still have Ed Davender and tough place to win down there.
Yeah, and they have Bennett forward coming back off that knee injury last year where he sat out. And of course, Leroy Ellis' son is a freshman center down there at Kentucky.
Here's Dantley. Dennis Johnson, who has scored 6 points. And Danny Ainge, who has 4. When was the last time the Celtic guards combined for 10 at this stage of the game?
And still in the ball game. I'm sure there's been situations, but right now they're right there. And again, their guards are going to have to produce. Now, this guard line right now, Minifield and Paxson did a better job for them offensively in that first half.
Bird wants Minifield to come out. Now it's Paxson with 48 seconds to go in the third period. 8 on the shot clock. Minifield penetrating. And will go to the line and shoot as Dumars commits the foul, and that'll be his second. Both teams are in the penalty.
I see Bird and Paxson developing great chemistry out here. Larry Bird loves to hit that cutter, and Paxson, as we said in the first half, one thing you remember about him in his heyday at Portland is moving without the basketball, coming off those baseline screens. So I can see them developing that chemistry.
Jerry Seasting, of course, went to Portland, and the one thing that they have with Paxson is more size back there. Paxson is 6'6". Seasting was about 6'1".
Jerry Seasting did a great job for the Celtics in the years past, but this year I think was struggling. Of course, had the operation, so it'd be interesting if he'll be able to be effective this year for Portland.
Dantley draws another foul. One of his favorite moves, besides the spin, is across the lane, and this foul is against Akers, number 4. The other trade that the Phoenix Suns made was Jay Humphries for Craig Hodges with Milwaukee. Your view of that one?
Well, Phoenix, I did not feel Jay Humphries was a true lead guard. And now with Kevin Johnson coming in there, they feel Hodges can give them that three-point shooter and threat. And he was not getting much time in Milwaukee recently.
Ralph Lewis, who is a free agent out of the CBA and LaSalle College in Philadelphia, replaces Joe Dumars. Dantley makes the free throw, and now Fred Roberts makes his first appearance of the game. A lot less playing time since McHale came back, and Bird is going to get a breather. A good time to bench Larry Bird right now towards the end of this period.
And he gets, you know, the remaining 32 seconds and then the period break, which is a few more minutes. The other thing is that to bring Paxson on, the Celtics had to put on waivers Darren Day.
Celtics down by 5.
Now this is all bench, all 5 of the players out there on the court. Normally you'd see McHale or Bird out there with them, so now they have to try it, scramble with something.
Lojas from the baseline. Lojas hits from the baseline. They chewed up a lot of time. 6 seconds to go. 82-79. Dantley moves in. And that'll do it. That'll be the end of the third period. That's the end of 3 here in Detroit, with the Pistons leading the Celtics 82-79. And we'll return to the Silverdome in Pontiac after this message and a word from your local.
And next year they go to the Palace. It only holds 20,000. I'm wondering what they're going to do with those other 17,000 people, Dick. Let's go back to you.
They're going to have a problem. Start of the fourth period, Dick Stockton and Billy Cunningham with the Detroit Pistons record this year after leading after 3 periods at 26-0 mark. They're perfect. Let's see what happens with a 3-point lead and the Celtic regulars on the bench. Minifield, Akers, Lojas, Paxson, and Roberts. Paxson hits the shot. It took kind of like a Boston Garden rim roll.
How about this bench, though? The way they performed the last minute or so. You know, 5 non-starters out there, and the last 2 times they've had possession of the ball, they've scored.
82-81. Hanging in there against the Pistons on the road using their bench. 6 on the shot clock. Lane Beer had Lojas in his face. Akers getting the rebound, and it's going to be Boston ball. There they are, the starters. Bird, Dennis Johnson, McHale, Ainge, and Parrish are all on the bench in the Celtics in a position to take the lead.
The only times I can remember seeing this is it's a blowout one way or the other. You know, the Celtics might be losing by a lot or winning by a lot.
You wonder if Casey Jones is making a bigger commitment to the bench as a result of this.
That's a good point. You wonder because he might feel that, hey, I got to give these guys a little bit more of a chance. Let's see how they play as a group. Now watch Vinnie Johnson fighting around the screen. All he does is run right over Lojas.
The foul was on Dantley, his third.
Things that's been impressive about this bench is their patience. You know, they've run the clock down inside of 5 seconds twice now.
Lojas, he has the ability to hit from outside. That was not a bad shot by him. Meanwhile, it's Dantley and Lane Beer and Sally, Dumars and Vinnie Johnson out there for Detroit.
And the thing that's happening is now the tempo is back the way the Celtics like it.
Lane Beer. 9 for Lane Beer. They have 6 men in double figures, do the Pistons, and Lane Beer has 9. The Celtics had trouble shooting in the field, and the Pistons did well, and Bird will come back in. Paxson misses. Rebound, Sally. The outlet pass. Detroit by 3. 4-on-2 break to Lane Beer from Dumars. And it's a 5-point game, and Casey Jones won't take any more chances. He calls a 20-second timeout. We know Bird will come back. Right now, he's the only regular headed back in the lineup.
And we see the penetration by Dumars to the basket. Lane Beer, the easy hoop.
In the series, Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham. Larry Bird back in the ball game. He has scored 14 points, coming in averaging 30. Also in there, Dennis Johnson and Danny Ainge. McHale in there as well. So everyone but Robert Parrish of the starters in there now for Boston.
The last time these two teams played here in Detroit, they had over 61,000 people.
McHale hits the shot. He only had 1 point in the third period. 29 points in the game to lead the Celtics.
Now that's something the Celtics got away from, more importantly because of the defense by the Pistons getting the ball inside.
Vinnie Johnson still struggling. McHale the rebound, a chance to bring the Celtics to within 1. This is the closest battle of the year between these teams. The home teams have won convincingly each time. Bird throws up a weak hook. No foul there, and here come the Pistons 4-on-2. Vinnie Johnson, and he traveled. Detroit missed the golden chance there.
Vinnie Johnson should have pulled up, shot a little jump shot. They had the numbers and could have pounded the offensive boards if he missed.
Isaiah Thomas will come back, and it's not Vinnie Johnson's day. 0 for 5 from the field. And he has riddled the Celtics in the past. 3 minutes gone by, final period. McHale doubled immediately. Dennis Johnson penetrates, loses it. Thomas shuffles it to Dumars for the easiest basket of the game.
Dennis Johnson has got to shoot that jump shot. I don't care if he misses 10 in a row. That's the shot he's got to hit. You notice every team now we've seen are playing the same way defensively, forcing Dennis Johnson to beat them.
Bird from the corner. That's a 2-point shot. Larry with 16. The Celtics have only 3 players in double figures today, and all of them are their starting front court. 3-point lead for Detroit. Lane Beer in good position, and Bird got his hand on the ball, but his body on Lane Beer, and the foul is on Bird.
Now the double team will come down on McHale, and we'll see that Dennis Johnson's going to be wide open if he just shot it instead of trying to force something right there. Dennis Johnson can hit that jump shot.
And this may be why they're challenging him.
Yep. Hey, listen, the coaches in this league evaluate this. They films, they break down. They know what they have to give up to beat this Celtic team. And when you play them, you know that you want to take away that inside play.
Dennis Rodman has replaced Adrian Dantley, who goes out with 19. He's the high scorer for Detroit today. The second straight game off the bench after coming back from an ankle sprain. Detroit.
Going to be a tough decision for Chuck Daly when Dantley is healthy. Who does he start, Rodman or Dantley?
Bird to McHale. And it's amazing that the Celtics even have a chance for points because McHale wasn't exactly where Larry thought he would be.
But he found him.
Lambeer with foul number 4.
Second. By the line for Boston, shooting 2, number 32, Kevin.
8:09 to go, plenty of time. McHale, 82% from the line, misses his second today. And a rare double miss for Kevin McHale. Lambeer. And Bird knocks it away to Ainge. And Thomas tries to tie him up. It'll be Celtics ball. 29 for McHale, 16 for Bird, and 12 for Parrish.
They'll be looking for Bird popping off the screens.
And Bird turns around, and that's all he needed was one quick look at the hoop.
I can't understand why they look for Larry Bird coming off screens.
He has scored 30 or more points in 8 of the last 10 games. Dumars with a runner.
Now what's happening on that play is Joe Dumars is coming off baseline screens, and when the man trails him, he just curls right into the lane.
The lead is 5. Rodman on Bird. They isolate Bird. Now Dumars helping. Someone's open. And they go back to Bird, who's hit 2 in a row, and 20 points for Larry Bird. 6 here in this 4th period.
Anytime you double team, you never leave Larry Bird alone.
And Thomas loses it out of bounds. Will turn it over to the Celtics.
Number 44, Rick Mahorn checks in to the
So Larry Bird right there is trying to set a little screen for McHale, and then he pops right back off it. Poor John Sally, he doesn't know where he is. He's a, let me play McHale, anybody.
timeout.
Just under 7 minutes to go in this game.
This is what Dennis Johnson is confronted with when he has to play Joe Dumars over here coming off baseline screen. First, he's going to see a screen here by Dennis Rodman, and then another screen by Lambeer, and he'll curl around for the easy hoop. Now, this is just such a difficult play to defend against, and Dumars reads it so well and is able to curl and make the easy hoop.
Joe Dumars scoring a lot more. He's always had that fine defensive game. An outstanding guard for the Detroit Pistons. They talked about him in trade talks, and fortunately for them, it never materialized. Rick Mahorn has come back in the game for the Pistons, so they have Mahorn, Rodman, and Lambeer up front.
Celtics.
And illegal defense called against the Pistons. Technical foul, and they'll shoot one.
Illegal defense. Technical foul.
Larry Bird will go shoot it, and that is the 3rd illegal defense and the 6th technical in the game.
It surprises me we're seeing Robert Parrish sit on the bench so much today, saying that his back doesn't hurt. I don't know if it's fatigue or something else that is causing him to sit there, but he only played 10 minutes in the first half and about 7 minutes in the second half, so he surely should be fresh and you would think out here.
McHale, goaltending called against Lambeer. So the Celtics credit the goal to McHale. He has 31 points, and we've tied the game now on this shot.
You know, Bill Lambeer probably would like us to save this for him. I can't remember him ever getting a goaltending call before.
So we're tied at 92. With less than 6.5 to play in the 4th. Dumars. McHale the rebound, and the Celtics are looking to take the lead. Tied at 92. They brought their starters back, and they've taken the crowd out of the game in the process.
Isolating Larry Bird.
Foul. The foul is on Isaiah Thomas. That will be his 5th personal foul. One more, and he's disqualified.
You remember a shoot around yesterday where Chuck Daly kept emphasizing with Dennis Rodman, keep your feet, don't go for the fakes. That's what he did there.
At the conclusion of the game, Billy Cunningham and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game, and in conjunction with the award, Light Beer will present a check in the amount. It's lead to 3 now.
Well, as Casey told us before the game, Casey Jones, when it's a tight ball game, they're going to go to Larry Bird every time they get a chance.
No secret there. Mahorn against Akers comes back, and it's a one-point game. Pace quickening here in this fourth period. This is a real significant game for the Detroit Pistons to maintain their home dominance over Boston. But a road win for the Celtics would do wonders for them. And the Celtics lose it out of bounds.
Wonders, it's a more important game for Detroit, this ball game, because they're down 2 in the loss column to the Celtics, and the next 2 games they play against the Celtics are in the Boston Garden. Again, looking to go inside to Mahorn.
Stolen. Dennis Johnson picked it up as Dumars telegraphed the pass.
Well, everybody was standing around. They let the defense get set, and Dennis Johnson, he's been all defense.
Larry Bird, fall away. Mahorn clears. Pistons can regain the lead. Rodman. Great quick move by the man you said last week has world-class speed at forward.
And Larry Bird has got to force Rodman to shoot the jump shot and not allow him to penetrate to the basket.
Detroit by 1. Under 4.5 to play. And a whistle. Offensive foul against the Celtics.
Well, this is what Rodman has got to fight through to try and play Larry Bird. You see how Bird just grabs a hold of McHale and starts trailing, and they called the foul on McHale, and that's a pretty good acting job, I think, by Dennis Rodman.
3 on McHale. Rodman blocked. Let's see what the call is, and they say goaltending now. Goaltending, credit the basket to Dennis Rodman.
There's the pass inside. Goaltending.
Bird trying to get it inside to Akers, picked off by Detroit. Mahorn. A 3-point Detroit lead in the crowd now on its feet. Thomas. Mahorn gets the Pistons another chance with 3:45 to play.
Watch the pick and roll coming up with Lambier and Dumars.
Neither team is in the penalty foul-wise, and now Dumars had lost the ball out of bounds. Johnson was just playing him close. No foul, and on the turnover, the Celtics will talk things over with 3:32 to go, down by 3. Isn't anything other than orange, although they wear blue on the road in football.
They had pretty good success wearing blue, I might add, this year.
Double team on McHale. Ainge. Dennis Johnson open for the moment. Good rotation by the Pistons defensively. Parrish is in the ball game. He's been sitting a long while. Dennis Johnson hits a big shot to cut Detroit's lead to 1 with 3:10 to go.
He had 2 excellent defensive plays, created 2 turnovers, and comes back and hits the big hoop.
3 minutes remaining in the game. Celtics with 3 team fouls. Pistons just 1. Mahorn inside, loses it, and Rodman picks it up and scores. Dennis Rodman. 102-99, under 3 minutes to play now. Forget about the bench. All the starters are in there now for both sides. Pistons with Rodman in place of Dantley. He started the game, and the last ball touched by Mahorn. It is still Celtics ball. Crowd thought that it was last touched by Boston.
Mahorn just battling McHale across the lane.
Ainge with 5 on the shot clock, rims it. McHale fighting, and a loose ball foul is called against the Celtics. With Rodman working against Bird. Parrish clears it out to Ainge. Ainge goes for 3. Not that time. Lambier clears. In one game, Danny Ainge hit 4 3-point shots against the Pistons this year. And we have 2 minutes to play.
2 minutes. 2 minutes left.
We'll see that Detroit is going to go to their best play, and that's the pick and roll involving Isaiah.
And Thomas hits the jump shot. Last week against the Lakers, he had a bunch, and then he started to miss. And the perimeter shooting fell down for the Pistons, and the Lakers prevailed.
As the Celtics go to Bird down the stretch, Detroit goes to Isaiah.
104-99 with 1:38 to play. Double team on Bird. Misses the turnaround, and Lambier has a big rebound. And the Pistons with a very big possession right here. Although the Celtics would have a foul at 99 with 1:24 remaining, and the Pistons will try to use up as much of that clock as possible.
They're spreading the court. They'll go back to that pick and roll.
Thomas hits another. 2 big baskets by Thomas. Celtics had tied it up when they brought their regulars back at 92 with 6.5 to play, but the Pistons have taken charge since then. And a foul called against the Pistons. Rick Mahorn, that's his 5th, a non-shooting situation. The next foul against Detroit will put him in the penalty.
Yeah, Celtics got to go quick, get something.
Under a minute to play. McHale working inside, walks. Actually, it was a jump ball. He was up and down, and there was a hand on the ball, so McHale will jump it.
If there's one key, it's been the adjustment defensively to McHale on the inside in the second half after scoring 26. We see them swarming around him and getting a jump ball.
Boston gets the tap, and Larry Bird. And McHale follows with 50 seconds to go. Pressure by the Celtics. Full court pressure, a trap on Thomas.
Well, this is a problem for the Celtics right now because they don't have that quickness, and they don't like to trap very much defensively. So they'll just be able to use as much of the clock, get it under 5, and then look for the shot.
And this is going to be a backcourt violation against Detroit. We'll turn it over to the Celtics. This game is not over with 27 seconds to go and a 5-point lead. And the Celtics, armed with their 3-point shooters, Bird and Ainge, call a timeout. You're never out of it when the Celtics are coming after you. And the Pistons are all over Ainge. It's Dennis Johnson who takes a 3 and misses. McHale gets the rebound in the corner. Dennis Johnson, and it's knocked away. And it's going to be Celtics ball, and the Pistons very nearly got that ball away from Dennis Johnson. There are now 16 seconds to go. 5-point lead for Detroit. The Celtics need a 3 and a 2. Ainge, they have no chance for him, and Dennis Johnson loses it into the hands of Lane Beer, and Detroit will win the ball game. They just wouldn't let the Celtics try a 3, and that's all she wrote. And so for the 15th straight game, including the playoffs, the home team has prevailed in this tense rivalry between the Eastern Conference champion Celtics and the Detroit Pistons. The final score, the Pistons beat Boston 106-101. Coming up next on CBS Sports, it'll be Syracuse against Kentucky. We'll be back at the Silverdome in Pontiac in just a moment.